you. Ambareesh, I want to start off with you. What happened in the market yesterday? Why was there so much selling in these high debt companies?
I mean, clearly there is a fear that if things don't improve, if the monsoons are bad, government doesn't take action soon to kickstart the economy. These debts in fact could go bad. And what we have seen in the past also, it doesn't remain the entrepreneur's headache, it becomes the bank's headache, it becomes the shareholder's headache. We have seen Kingfisher in the past. So that fear is again coming back.
Okay, but are you expecting it to continue? I mean, will this now become as vicious as margin calls leading to further selling?
It can, at least for a while.
Okay.
I mean, unless we start seeing action at the ground level to reverse this, I think that fear will continue.
Action on the ground level would mean what?
Would mean the infra, space actually taking off, government taking some action.
But that's a long way off.
This
is a vicious selling of the last 2 days. I'm asking you if there are any technical factors. Obviously, government efforts will take a long while.
Technical factors are there, because of which the markets are falling. And once it falls below a certain level, basically in the last so many months, it was buy on a correction. Now it is like sell on rise. Last 1.5 months has been sell on rise. And now, if it breaks these 8,000 levels, which is very crucial psychological sort of a support level, if it breaks that, you will have all hell breaking loose, and you could actually have a major fall post that. Although I had spoken about 7,800 levels, I think on 16th of April when the markets were about 8,800 levels. But then right now the way things are, if it falls below 8,000, you could suddenly have a steep fall, and maybe after that you could find some sort of a bottom.
Are there any places to hide in this market at all, Ambareesh? And if yes, which ones are they?
I think the best place to hide is cash. Especially,
cash.
Yeah. Especially when you're seeing a fall like this.
We had it if everyone thought that way.
Yeah, I know.
No, because when the markets are falling, you'll have even the sectors like pharma, FMCG, which are supposed to be safe, even they would fall. Okay. So, your cash, $100 will remain $100, it will not become 96. But if you're investing in a pharma at this point of time, although you may have an infra space which is being hit the hardest, maybe fall another 10-15%, but you'll also have the pharma sector falling either 2 or 3% from here. So why lose money in a market like this?
The market fall could also give some mouth-watering valuations to stocks which people want to buy. Ambareesh, do you think that there are any stocks that you would recommend buying?
No, see, one could look at buying, but then I think one should be buying in stages, because you really don't know as to where the bottom is. For example, a stock like Tata Steel, at the current levels, I think the valuations are decent. But looking at the environment, it's very much possible that this stock can fall below 300, it can go to levels of 285, 290. But as a long-term investor, for example, if you buy at the current levels, you should only be buying a very small quantity and keeping enough cash to buy more at the lower levels.
Okay. So a stock like Tata Steel still has its own share of issues, whether it's with respect to chorus, the whole metal space, etc. But what about some of the stocks which are growing well in their own space, but are still succumbing to the market pressure? So for example, a stock like, say, ICICI Bank, it's down about 15-16% this year. Is this a good time to be buying it?
ICICI Bank, among the private sector ones, I think that is the one which is most affected as far as the asset quality is concerned. Okay. I think that fear is there, because of which ICICI Bank, if you see the last 3-4 months, it's been an underperformer in that space of private sector banks which had outperformed. So, except from a trading point of view, I'll not buy ICICI Bank at this point of time as an investment. But surely I would look at stocks like HDFC Bank, DCB, which has been my favorite for a while, IndusInd, Yes Bank. These are the stocks to be bought on a correction, because irrespective, when the market is correcting, you will get these at much better valuations possibly in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, clearly the worries about many of these banks is that they are the lenders to the likes of, say, JP Associates, JP Infra, JP Power, and a whole host of other stocks, even the IVRCLs and the Reliance ADG group, the Reliance Powers of the world. And if something were to go wrong in any of these, and there is an inability to pay in 91 days, then that becomes an NPL. So it really falls on your books. There is a big effort to ensure that at least they keep paying, making their interest payments. But if anything were to go wrong, then there can be serious concern, which is why you first see the borrowers fall and then the lenders fall.
Okay.
Let me just add one more thing out here. There's a very old saying that if you borrow 10 lakhs from the bank, it is your problem. when you're borrowing 1,000 crores from the bank,
it's
the bank's problem. And that's exactly what we are going to be seeing now.
Yeah, I mean,
and just go back the last 20 years, find out as to which are the companies which have gone under, listed entities which have gone under, and how many of those promoters are living in pecuniary.
So that clearly is the issue that is impacting the banking system, which is why the Bank Nifty is the worst performer in the markets over the past couple of days.
But Ambareesh, I wanted to ask you about, what does one do with these agri-chemical companies that get 100% of their business, from, or rather are dependent on the monsoons heavily, the likes of Rallis, PI Industries, Bayer Crop, all of these stocks were big performers in the last move. What do you do with them now?
I mean, see, those who are dependent on the Indian markets mostly, I mean, are the ones which could suffer in case the monsoons are below normal. But someone like a United Phosphorus, I mean, it's like hardly dependent on the Indian markets. Most of its exports. It's actually a true multinational, and because of which you're seeing the way it has gone in the last 6-7 months.
Okay. Ambareesh, would you short anything?
Maybe on a bounce back, because at least for today or possibly a day or two, I see some bounce back after the sort of a fall which you have seen. But I really don't see the markets going much beyond those 8,200, 8,250 levels. So I think at those levels, I think one can still go short as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned, because I think that's the weakest among the top line indices.
All right, Ambareesh and Manoj, thank you for your time and thank you for discussing all of these